All right. Too funny. Yes, Alice says her biggest problem is not knowing which project to do next. Yeah. Well, I know
We'll
what
give you
project
another
you're
one.
going to be doing next.
My rice bags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corn feed bags.
Corn feed bags. Sorry. I got to remember. Proper name.
I still call them
Popcorn
rice
bags.
bags. There you go. The ones that smell so yummy. Yeah, for sure. Gloria said her kids love the Schwan push-ups.
Yes.
Oh, did you have
The Schwan Man?
ones? The Schwan Man.
The
Oh,
Schwan
yeah.
Man. That's what we
Yeah.
Literally, I was
yeah.
like push-ups.
back in the
Like,
day when I
making
lived on
exercise.
Glenmere
go.
Street.
There you go. Yeah. Nancy said, we're waiting for another UFO run to finish. Do you think we'll do another UFO run?
I think
Santa?
it would be really good.
It would be good. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
People were doing a lot of
I
cool
think it'd be fun.
things.
Mm-hmm.
2022.
2022.
Get ready.
We're on. Yep. Get ready for it,
Start
folks.
those projects now.
Start
You
now.
can finish them then.
Buy those projects now.
There you go.
Start them.
Exactly.
But start them
Oh
slightly
my goodness.
and then finish them doing that.
Too fun. Let me tell you, I have the best job in the world here because I get to hang out with two people like this. Love these girls. And they let me just, sit alongside them and they think I'm okay, you know.
She's the
And
Kool-Aid.
We think you're so
it's
cool.
really fun.
Okay.
There you go. And so today we're going to be sewing a project together. And this is a oh my goodness, a technique that maybe some of you are familiar with, and maybe some of you have not done what I'm going to show you today. Let me tell you, back up for just a minute. This week's theme was all about easy Christmas gifts, but that you can, that are things that make you go,
That was my
right?
favorite part of the theme.
That's right. Like embroidering on toilet paper, right? And so I actually had a different one planned for today, but the product didn't come in time. You know how that
I
goes.
don't know how that goes.
So I'm going to have to save it for after this next week. So I'm going to save that for that. So I don't know if this project will necessarily make you go, but you're going to love it anyway, because it's a really fun little Christmas gift to give. All right. So, yeah, Betty Jo, yes, I do pay them.
That's true.
Hey, true story.
But we still love it.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, guys. Thanks. All right. So theme number 2, we're going to show you how to make a really cute, go ahead, Sarah, a fun little hot pad. And it's not just any old hot pad. It is a pocket hot pad.
A
Like
pocket.
Oh, yes.
To
Look
the
at
next
that.
level.
There's a little hook.
Totally next
So
level.
cute.
So Sarah, why don't you model how it works?
I'm like,
Here we
so turned
go.
on.
Here we go. Here we go. Ah,
There you
love
go.
that. There we go.
Like a
So
baseball
we're
glove.
going to do a strip and flip pocket on this. And so
Strip
that's
and
the
flip.
technique, is strip and flip. Now, Anna, if you love strip and flip, then you might want to do strip and flip on your
On my rice
your
bag.
rice bags.
On your
and
corn
make it
feed bag.
even
On my corn feed
cooler.
bag.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah. Corn feed. But some people refer to it as strip and flip. Some do it as stitch and flip. Some just don't know what to call it. But we're going to call it
Stitch and flip.
No, we're going to call it strip and flip.
Strip and flip.
Strip
Sorry.
and flip.
Tomato, right? Now, here's another really fun thing. Okay, so Sarah showed you the pieced one. Anna, why don't you show them just the regular pocket
This
one?
one?
So you could do it just as a regular pocket.
So cute.
But today quilt as you go is another term that people refer to it as.
Oh.
This one is the same as this.
That is
Same
so
technique,
cute.
but we folded it in half and put little utensils in here, or baking things, and it's a really fun way to give a gift to someone. So today, for theme number 2, we're going to show you how to do the strip and flip method. And I'm also going to show you how to do some binding in a special way. Now, if you were with me for Christmas Club this last week, we did a different kind of hot pad. It was a wreath hot pad, and I showed how to do this kind of binding. It's a binding that is continuous, goes all the way around, and then has a loop at the top that's part of it. So it's kind of fun. If you were with Christmas Club and some were a little confused on the binding, hopefully what I'm going to share with you today will help solidify what that's all about. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. By the way, no need to write down instructions. We have instructions for you today. Gotta love that. So let's head over to the sewing table, ladies, and we will get started. Okay. Now, the fun thing about this project, everyone, is that you can, this is a great stash buster. Oh my goodness. Such a good stash buster, because you can do the sizes any old way you want. Come up, my friends. Come on up. Okay. So what you're going to start out with is a 9-inch by 15-inch for the background. All right. This is the back of your hot pad, and you're going to put it with the right side facing down on top. So let's go ahead and pull this down, and you can see right side facing down. And then you're going to take a 9 by 15-inch piece of batting. So you could use like the Kimberbell project batting. You can use regular batting that you might have scraps of at home. And you place that directly on top. Okay. Then the next layer is going to be Utensil Bright. Are you familiar with Utensil Bright? This is what is going to help so that it doesn't burn your hands when you're using it. So it's kind of got like a kind of a silvery metal in it. And this is what you're going to place on top of that. Okay, so it's really important that you put this in the proper order. So the fabric right side down, which is going to be the back, your batting, and your Utensil Bright. Now, this is not microwavable safe. Okay. No, so you don't want to put this hot pad in the microwave, but it's perfect for being able to pull things out of the oven. Okay, so stitch and flip method. Okay, I thought when I knew I was going to bring you gals on here, I said I have to use this fabric.
Yeah, that is the cutest
I
fabric.
knew you would love it. I just said this just screams both of you.
The colors make me so happy.
Definitely. So if you guys take a look at this, I cut these all in different widths. Okay, so they're all 9 inches long in length, but you see some are about 2 inches, some are 3 inches, some are 1.5 inches. It doesn't matter. All right. And that's why this is such a great stash buster. You just go through and you cut your strips, whatever size you want. And as long as they're by 9 inches, you're going to be golden. Okay. So with a strip and flip method or a quilt as you go method, you're going to start out with your first fabric piece with the right side facing up. Okay. Right side facing up. And that's the only time that your fabric is right side facing up.
Oh,
okay. Now the next piece you add, and you can, again, you're just going through this going, all right, I'll just grab that piece. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. This next piece, you're going to put fabric right side facing down and line it up along a long edge. Okay, so we're just going to kind of scooch it there. We're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew through all of these layers at once. Now, if you felt more comfortable, we could place a few pins in here. So I'll go ahead and do that just to keep everything intact until we get a little closer to those outside edges. Now, if it begins to shift on you, that's okay, because we're actually going to square this up later. So don't worry if you go, oh no, this is like not all lined up anymore. It's all good.
It's okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to take it to the sewing machine. You're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance along the edge, and then we're going to press it out this way. Then let's see, we'll take another one. Here's this strip, and you're going to put that right side down, take it to the machine, sew it, and out it goes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So who wants to be up first?
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, and I'm going to bring the computer over here, and let's see you at work.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Using these really fancy machines sometimes makes me nervous.
All right. So what we've done here, and Anna, can you let me know if that's in the camera? Okay.
Yep, it's good.
Perfect. Okay. So we've got the needle threaded. Great.
Oops.
I have it set up to a 1/4 inch seam allowance already.
Oh, so I just press this?
And go ahead and sew. Now, another thing I'll tell you is that you might want to lengthen your stitch length here, just because there are so many layers to go through. Perfect. Okay, go ahead and cut your threads. Good job.
Oh, I always forget.
I know. And just go ahead and leave it right there on the bed, Sarah. And let's pull that fabric strip out. And I know, isn't that fun? And then just finger press it. So just kind of run your fingers over that. Perfect.
Awesome.
Nice. Okay, new piece.
It's a little bit off.
Which one should we do?
Yeah, we're squaring it up. It's all
Whichever one you
good.
want.
How about this one?
That one's
Okay, so Anna's up
Is that
next.
Okay.
All right, Anna.
So am I doing this right?
Looks good to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Sarah, am I good on the camera, Ingrid?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look.
Okay.
Go, Anna, go. All right, trim the threads, pull it out, and go
Finger
ahead and
press.
finger press it. All right, let's do one more, and then we'll go to the next step.
Alrighty.
All right, so you just chose any width, it didn't matter. And again, you're just lining up those edges and a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Nice.
Okay.
Okay, trim and finger press out. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so everyone
Cute.
can see that this is now being quilted as we go. So if you look at the front, and let's take a look at the back,
Cute.
you see how those quilted stitches are going through all the layers. So you complete this entire piece until the whole thing is covered. All right,
Cute.
so let's go back over here. Okay.
That's so easy.
Yeah, Delane asks, or Delone, hi Delone, by the way. She asks, would it be okay to use your walking foot? Yes, you could definitely use, this would be a great time to use your walking foot as well. All right, so with that being done, let me pull this camera down. I went ahead and stitched one that was already done. And so this would have been all one piece, right? And remember, I gave you some wiggle room. That's why I had you do it 9 inches by 15 inches. But we're now going to cut it into 2 different pieces. Okay, we're going to cut the hot pad and we're going to cut the pocket. So the hot pad you cut to be down to 8 by 8. And then your pocket is going to be 5 by 8. So I just simply trimmed it all up. And now it doesn't matter that if it got off a little bit. See, if we take a look at this one that these girls were just sewing, you can see that not everything's lined up here. That's okay. It's kind of a natural thing to have happen. You didn't do anything wrong. All right. It's just you've got lots of layers here, and it just naturally had that tendency to go down. And that's okay. It's the way I wrote the pattern is it's built in to be able to handle all of those things that sometimes happen there. Okay. All right. So we've got the pocket and we have the background. So the next thing we need to do is with the pocket, we're going to do a binding on it just along the top edge. So I've taken a 2.5 inch strip of fabric by 8 inches because that's as long as this is. and folded it in half with the wrong sides together. Okay, just you're doing it lengthwise, fold in half, wrong sides together. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this on the back. Here's my back. See how cute that is, all quilted already?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stitch it on the back first, and I'm going to bring it over to the front. Okay, so let's do that. So, as we normally would with binding, we're going to lay the raw edges up here against the raw edges there. If you want to, you could pin it. I think we're okay to just hold on to it. And I'm going to have these gals do a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way here, coming once again from the back of the pocket. All right, so Anna, let's put you up next.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So do I line it up with the foot to get a 1/4 inch?
Uh-huh.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
I should know that by now.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Wow. Wonderful, Anna. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oops.
There you go. I like it. Now, notice that there's some fabric that comes off the top, off the end. Not a problem. We're going to trim that up afterwards. But now what I'll do, now with this being sewn on, I'll go ahead and bring it over the top, just like that. And then I'm going to top stitch it along the very edge of the fold. All right, so let's bring this down here, and we're covering up, we end up covering up that raw edge. Do this best I can from kind of a weird angle, right?
I know.
There we go. Okay, so I've just done a simple top stitch. Let's take a look. Yeah, not too bad.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Cute.
and there we go. And we'll, can you grab those scissors, Sarah? Let me just trim this up real quick.
You also have a rotary cutter.
Yeah, I probably should have grabbed some bigger scissors. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, there you go. All right, so it's all trimmed up, ready to go. Now my pocket is set aside. All right, so let's go ahead and now do the rest of the hot pad. So we're going to bring this over here. Okay. So do you notice something about this? Are we going to do, like if you look at my sample, you could do it straight up and down, or you could do it this way, but it's actually more fun, I think, to do it opposite.
I agree.
Do you
Then you
see?
see everything.
Exactly. You've got vertical stripes going this way. You have horizontal strips going this way. So before we add on the binding, though, I'm going to do one more thing. And that is, I want to stitch this down along these 3 edges just to hold it in place so that when I do the binding, it's not shifting. All right. So Sarah, I'm going to have you come over and we're going to set our machine on a basting stitch, the height, just to, again, to hold it in place. I don't want you to use the edge of your presser foot as your guide because we're only going in about 1/8 of an inch.
Okay.
You think you're good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's do this.
Okay.
Okay, so the length is going to be set at, I'm going to bring this up to a 5.
Okay.
Again, this is simply just to hold it in place.
Go nice and slow. Oh, so this needs to be in just a little bit more. Okay.
Okay, kneel down. Go ahead and lift that up and pivot. Good. do it once more.
Oh, it's a little fold.
Okay, perfect. All right, there you go. So does that make sense, everyone, of what Sarah just did? All she did was just making sure that the pocket is in place. All right. And she just used a basting stitch to do that. Obviously, we're not stitching along the top because we need to keep the pocket open. But now it's time to go around and put the rest of the binding. So for those of you who were with me for Christmas Club, I'm going to show the same exact way on the binding today as I did in Christmas Club. All right. And look how fun. Again, it's all quilted in the back. It's nice and poofy. All right. So we are going to use 2.5 inch wide binding on this because it's got to get over a pretty big thickness there. So let's come down here, and what we want to do is we're going to start at the corner. Now, we normally don't start at the corner when we do binding. Whenever I do binding on a quilt, I never start at the corner. I actually start in the middle of one of the sides, right? But this time it's a little different. So we are going to start at a corner. And again, we're going to start on the back. So I'm going to flip this over. And let me see where, all right. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start this corner, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around, okay, from the back. Now, just as a little reminder for how to do the miters on binding, what you do is you stitch all the way down until you get to about a 1/4 inch from the corner. When you get to that 1/4 inch, go ahead and keep the needle down. Lift up your presser foot, pivot off at a 45-degree angle. Then we're going to be able to bring our binding up and then back on top of itself so that the fold is along the top. And we begin stitching once again at a 1/4 inch seam allowance right from the very top. And we do the same thing around all of the corners. All right. I'm just talking you through this for a minute because I know it's going to be hard to see at the sewing machine. One more time, we start at the corner, we go all the way down, we stop at a 1/4 inch, sew off at an angle, bring this up, bring this back on top of itself. We start at the top and we continue going forward. We're going to do this all the way around until we get just a couple inches over here, close to here. And I'll show you what we do next once we stop there. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. If you can bring that over. And there we go. All righty. Oh, I better set my stitch length back. That wouldn't be good, would it? It all of a sudden falls apart because it was on a basting stitch. Okay, I'm getting close to my corner. I'm going to stop. I'm actually going to give a little reinforcement stitch there. I like to always do that. My needle is down. My foot is up. I will pivot so that I sew off to the corner at a 45-degree angle. All right. There we go. Now I need to get down to this side. So I'm going to turn this around so that it's, actually showing where I need to go next. I bring this binding strip up. It's at a 45-degree angle right here. I bring it back on top of itself so that the fold is at the top. And I begin to stitch once again from the very top. Whoops, there we go. Okay, I'm a 1/4 inch from the corner, so I will do a locking stitch. I will turn and pivot off at a 45-degree angle and trim my threads. Okay, let's do that again. Bring this back up and bring the binding back on top of itself. The fold is up here along the raw edge and start right at the very top. Stop at a 1/4 inch, locking stitch, needle down, foot up, go off the corner. All right, this is my last one.
Let me see if I can. There we go.
Bring this up on top of itself. Whoops.
What's that?
We're good.
Okay. What was it?
It was one of
Save-
those the wooden.
Oh,
Clappers?
the clapper. Save
Yes.
the clapper, save the world. Here we go. All right. Okay. Notice I am stopping right there. I'm a couple of inches away from here. The reason why I want to stop is because I'm going to take this out and I need to bring my binding that was first sewn down. I need to pull it out and I need to bring it over and just do a little stitch there just to hold it down. Or I could place a pin there if I wanted to. Either way is fine. So again, the original binding that I had started from the very beginning is going to come up and around. And again, I could hold it in with a pin or I could do a little stitch. I think I will just do a quick little stitch here. Okay. And the only reason is just to hold it in place. Okay, good enough. I could have also put a pin there. Now I can finish this off. Okay, because I needed that down first. So now what I'm going to do is take it back to the machine and finish sewing where I had left off. And I'm also going to continue sewing off a few more inches. And stop.
How
All
fun.
right.
Cool.
Okay, let's go over back to the cutting table and let me show you what happens with this.
I had no idea how binding worked.
Honestly,
So I liked
Oh,
watching
really?
yeah, me either. I've always wondered how you get the
Yay.
corner.
How
to
do you
look
get the
so-
corner to look so good,
neat.
right?
Oh,
Yes.
I'm like sticking
I
through.
love it when we can learn new things together. So, all right. So we're ready to take this to the finish line. Okay. So what we're going to do, let me grab my rotary cutter. This is plenty, right? I don't need to have all of this. So I'm actually going to cut off a little bit. It doesn't really matter. Just, I don't know, maybe 3 inches or so. And this is where, for the sewing club members, I don't know if I explained this well enough. So I hope I'm explaining this better this time. When you bring this up and around, okay, notice you do have stitching right here. That is also going to fold in. And we're going to press that with an iron. It's as if you had stitched this right here. When you fold this over, you don't see any raw edges. Well, if we were just to fold this in half, you would have a raw edge on this side. So the thing I want to reiterate today is that because you have this 1/4 inch seam allowance, you now have a guideline of what to fold in. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sarah, why don't you go ahead and take the iron and we're just going to fold that in and give it a press.
Okay.
Perfect. Now, with that being folded in and pressed, I can now take this and bring it over. Okay, let me put that right up here. So Sarah just folded this bottom in. a little bit. Now I have a nice clean edge here. And now if I fold this in half one more time, there are no raw edges showing. So what I can do is take it to the sewing machine, and now I'm going to do a top stitch all the way down this little piece and around. Okay.
Sweet.
All righty.
Bring you guys over one more time. Position you so you can see. All right.
And now all of these raw edges are going to be covered and cleaned up. It's going to be beautiful. Okay, another thing to make note of. Let's see if we can move this just a titch closer. Okay, as we get to the corner, what I want you to do is you're like bringing this piece down and you're folding this next piece over top so that it creates an angle. Do you guys see that?
Mhm.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm getting closer, so I'll go ahead and bring that over on top of each other and pivot. Okay, this comes down. This next piece goes over, so I'm going to flip it over before I get to it. And see how it automatically creates a mitered corner? And pivot. Uh-oh. My needle came unthreaded. Hold on. Not sure how that happened, but we can take care of that real quick.
So fancy.
Fanciest thing ever.
Gets me every
I
time.
know. Me too. I never get tired of it. We're almost done. Okay, this comes down. This next piece goes over. And we're ready to take it to the finish line. Ta-da! All done.
Look at that. Oh my gosh.
Now we have this little piece. What are we going to do with this guy? Well, we're going to make it a little handle. So we just turn it around kind of on top of itself. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So I'm just flipping it around. And now I flip it to the back, and I could hand stitch this. Like I could fold over that raw edge, do a hand stitch, or you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead and stitch it right now all the way through. I am going to take my stitch length down. There we go. So I need to trim some threads there, obviously, but you can see that that's now stitched down. And now I have a cute hot pad.
Oh
I
my gosh.
love it.
Yay!
That's so cute.
Adorable.
It's all done. Isn't that fun?
I love the colors on that fabric so much.
Yeah. Now, boom, boom, boom. Look how fun this is. This I brought too big of a spatula. I would probably go for a smaller one. Like you could even get like cute spatulas and spoons at the dollar store. This would be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to gift this to someone, fold it in half, put in the, you know, a little whisk, a cheese grater, a spoon, whatever you want, tie it up with some ribbon. You could even put maybe some hot chocolate mix or, you know, some soup or something. That would be really fun, right? And you have a cute little oven mitt. So, Miss Sarah, this is for you, my friend. You get to keep that, and the other one we'll finish today. And Anna, you get to take that one home.
I'm so excited.
And you get a hot pad, and you get a hot pad. So we will finish that other one up before you leave work today. And now you guys can say you made something, right?
Yes.
There you go.
I think that was always like one of my favorite parts of doing 3 at 3 is because like in the end you leave with a project.
Mhm,
And it was so
exactly.
fun.
Yes, Kathy says, "Whisk you a Merry Christmas." Exactly. Put a whisk in there, put a little tag that says "Whisk you a Merry Christmas," and just look how fun that is. What a fun
love
little
that.
gift to give. Again, tie it with some ribbon, and just, I don't know, super fun.
Yeah, honestly, as soon as I saw that, I have like a bunch of weddings to go to this. Honestly, like this weekend and then all through December.
cute.
You think about like these people, they're getting their like first place together. Maybe they need a hot pad.
That's so true.
Or if you have any like
so true.
college age like neighbors, nieces, nephews.
These girls
daughters.
know. They know.
They honestly-
Exactly.
And they get used. Like I was telling Kris right before this, you can never have enough hot pads. Like really, can you ever?
Never.
I think growing up, we had,
Never,
like,
ever,
20.
ever.
So I'm excited about it.
And like I said, once you get the hang of what you're doing, oh my goodness, you're going to
So
be able to whip
fast.
these out so quickly. I love what Sharon said, that you could add a family recipe to it. That's a great idea.
I love that.
That's cute.
Mhm. Quick and fun, perfect hostess gift. You know, and it doesn't just have to be Christmas. I mean, you could do all sorts of fabrics and it would be just as cute. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, also a mug rug, Al said. That would be a fun mug rug too.
Yeah.
So it could be a little trivet. On one side is a
Mm.
hot pad. On the other side is a trivet. All right, guys. So I hope you learned something new today and had some fun with that. I sure loved having you guys
Oh my gosh,
doing
so
that with
fun.
me
I
today.
loved learning the like binding.
Oh,
Yeah, same.
good.
I always wondered how that
Oh,
happened.
Literally same. I'm like, okay, the corners are perfect, and
I was
how
so
do you not get the raw
engaged.
edges? Like, you could. We were like so quiet because
There
both of us
you
were
go.
I
like,
was just so engaged. I was